In today's Leeds news, Gordon McQueen's passing, Leeds reject Cody Drameh bid, Tyler Roberts exit fee, Serie A sides interested in Nonto, Rodrigo's future latest, and more links to want away defender. Morning, folks. Share here at The View. Friday, the last video of the week, 16th of June, with your Leeds news and what's been a pretty eventful week. It's starting to trail off now and get nice and quiet again coming into the weekend. Quick update on what's going to happen. Going forward on the channel on a Friday evening, I will be doing a live stream. The live stream will cover all the smaller stories and bits and pieces and rumors that came out during the week that we didn't cover in the news, and we can chat about them. If you're not a fan of a live stream format where we interact with chat, probably won't be for you, but don't worry about it. The news will be back on Monday morning, same as normal. This is just additional new content. So it's not for you, that's okay. But there's quite a few who are interested in the live stream, so we'll push ahead and do that tonight at roughly 8 p.m. tonight. So just keep an eye on the community tab on the channel as well on Twitter. I'll put updates out there as well. Right, let's stop faffing about and get into this. And we'll start off with some sad news yesterday of the passing of Leeds legend Gordon McQueen. McQueen had passed away after suffering a short battle with dementia at the age of 70. McQueen did return to Leeds in 2019 as part of the centenary celebrations at Leeds and was awarded the Freedom of the City along with the rest of the 67 to 74 Leeds United side. A player my dad was a huge fan of, and I grew up listening an awful lot about Gordon McQueen. Dad was a huge fan of him, so really sad day for Leeds and for the McQueen family, and thoughts and prayers go out to all of his family, and rest in peace, Gordon. Moving on to some transfer news and reports have been coming out in the last couple of weeks about the future of Cody Drameh at Leeds and would he stay at Leeds, move to Luton, or other clubs have been interested in. Well, according to journalist Sasha Tavalieri, he is saying that Leeds have now rejected bids from Burnley for Cody Drameh. Tavalieri, who worked for RMC Sport, said on Twitter that Burnley pursuit of Cody Drameh has taken a step forward and a firm offer was put in place to Leeds. What it goes on to say is the offer was rejected by Leeds, and it says that Leeds are holding out for a higher fee for the player. Other reports and other publications are saying that Leeds are keen to keep Cody Drameh. Others are saying that Leeds want a higher fee for him. Others are saying he looks like he wants to leave. And then there's other reports saying he wants to stay. There's a lot of conflicting reports. What's good to see at the moment from Leeds is there's not a huge amount of information leaking out of the club. So a lot of this is speculation. A lot of this is agent talk. So we know Cody Drameh has got a pretty active agent and has had in the past. And lots of stories come out every transfer window about different clubs linked with Cody. This is the first time a firm offer has been rumoured to be on the cards. However, it is coming from RMC Sport and it's not coming from anywhere else. It's just that one publication at the moment. So I take that with a little bit of a pinch of salt, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I think that the futures of Rasmus Christensen and Luke Ayling will have a bearing on Cody Drameh's future. And then if Leeds decide to move for another right back or persist with what they've got, that will also depend or have an impact on what Cody does and what Leeds do with Cody. So wait and see. Moving on, let's talk about a player that we know is leaving Leeds, and Tyler Roberts' exit from Leeds looked to be all but confirmed. According to the Mail Sport, on top of the Athletics article yesterday, the Mail Sport are now claiming that a fee has been agreed between Leeds United and Birmingham, a fee of £750,000 for the player. Leeds did buy Roberts for £2.5 million, but given the amount of injuries he's had over the last couple of years, there was always going to be a reduction in the fee, given the fact that he went back down to the Championship to play last year and then had another season of just constant injuries at QPR, which kind of reduced the amount of playing time he got there and impacted on his impact for QPR. So all of that comes into a fee dropping down about $750,000, which, you know, if he sorts out his injuries, you might look at that in a year or two time and say it's a pretty small fee, that he could have done more. However, if he can sort out the injuries and they have had a longer term impact on the player, $750,000 could be a good deal as well. So it's sad to see a player like Roberts go. There was a huge amount of fanfare when he came in, a huge amount of potential there, definitely potential there. It just hasn't been realised as of yet. He's still relatively young and still has time. So there's always time. Let's move on to players that Leeds will be hoping to keep in this window. And reports from Italy are suggesting that several Italian clubs are ready to make their move for Willy Gnonto. Reports suggest that an £18 million offer will be enough to get the services of the Italian player. However, reports in Leeds are suggesting that that fee is well short of Leeds' valuation for the player. The reports claim that AC Milan and Fiorentina are the front runners to sign the player. Fiorentina wanting to add more players for their European push next year, and AC Milan looking to reinforce their squad after certain moves last year for high-profile players like Charles Leclerc didn't really work out for them. What you can say with Fiorentina and AC Milan is there's not a huge amount of money floating around in Serie A, and what we saw with the Ketelare situation last year when Leeds are bidding for against AC Milan will lowball and will come in with a much lower fee and a more structured deal. Whether Leeds want to take that or not or keep the player remains to be seen. Noises coming out of Ellen Road suggest that Leeds are keen on keeping Sinistera, Adams, and Nonto as a priority and are trying to talk to players into staying at Leeds to give Leeds the best chance of getting an automatic promotion back to the Premier League. So again, these reports will float around. Mancini talks an awful lot about Nonto, but also talks an awful lot about young Italian players not playing in Italy and wanting them back in Italy. And this happened 20 years ago in Germany when they started to bring all the top German players started to come back to the Bundesliga to ply their trade, and had a huge impact on the national team and on the league as well. So you can understand why he's trying to do that. Leeds, of course, will want to hang on to Nonto at all costs. Get a huge impact next season in the Championship. Let's talk about another player, and let's talk about Rodrigo possibly leaving. And CBS reporter Ben Jacobs claims that PSG, Aston Villa and Brighton Hove Albion are all keen on Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been linked with a move to Real Madrid recently as well, and has been talking about his future while on international duty with Spain. Initially, he said that he didn't want to talk about his future, that he had a contract with Leeds and that had to be respected, and he was on international duty. Now, he's also said this week that he doesn't know what the situation is with Leeds. He hasn't spoken to anybody at Leeds since he went on international duty, and he said to a degree he's not looking to speak to anybody right now. Max Verber also said something similar in his interviews this week, where he said the breakaway after what was been a really taxing, tough season for the players, emotionally, mentally, as well as physically, especially the likes of Verber and Rodrigo, who really put everything in. They were saying they're glad of the break right now. It's a chance to relax and unwind and get some of the pressure that they felt last season off their back. So Rodrigo said he wants to focus on his international games right now, and we'll speak to Leeds once that's done and dusted. He's got the Nations League final to look forward to after making a successful return to the Spanish national side. The reports claim, or Ben is claiming here, the 32-year-old who had his best season at Leeds last season, scoring 14 Premier League goals, could move away into the Premier League or possibly to France, and that France is probably the most likely. He did Ben exact words on this word that you should with PSG is one to watch. PSG, Brighton, and Aston Villa will all see the release fee. If it is $3.5 million or $3 million release fee, they will all see that as a bit of a bargain considering the season Rodrigo's just had in the Premier League. Going to a club like PSG in the French league, you'd imagine he'd absolutely smashed it down there. So could head back to Spain as well. As I said, Real Madrid are still floating around, but then they are looking at other strikers as well. So, and then the other hope is that he stays, and gives Leeds a chance to get back in. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with him there. And then moving on to the final story of the day, more links with Robin Koch, and I have described his agent as the hardest working agent in football because, as I said, there's not a lot of information coming out of the club about anything. The leaks seem to have stopped since the ownership model has begun to change. But there seems to be a lot of noise around Robin Koch and links to several clubs. So basically, what's come out today from 90 Minutes is that Robin Koch's planned exit from Leeds is now looking to have gone in different directions. Manchester United were linked with the player already this week, described as having loose talks with the player. 90 Minutes are now suggesting that Newcastle United and Spurs have also held talks with Robin Koch about an exit from Leeds United this summer. His agent seems to be touting his name around quite a lot. He's been mentioned every day with different clubs at this point. There's also another list of clubs. Brentford, Nottingham Forest are also said to be interested in the player and are keeping an eye on the situation. He's one of the players that looks like a very, very likely exit from Leeds. And as I said, very busy agent, seems very keen to get him out of Leeds as quickly as he can. So keep an eye on that. Transfer window is open. Players can move now. We'll have to wait and see if that makes an impact on Leeds' exits or whether Leeds will wait for players to come back from international duty and come back the pre-season, the 1st of July, before decisions are made. we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be it for today so far, folks. We'll be back tonight around about 8 p.m. with a live stream to go through the news stories this week that we didn't talk about. Things like the Everton financial fair play stuff, golfers investing in Leeds, Patrick Bamford bust up, and Brendan Aronson's comments on his future as well. They are some of the stuff we'll cover tonight in the live stream. So if you want to see me then, I will put some detail on the community tab, and I'll also put something out on Twitter a couple of hours beforehand as well. You can check that out if you want to, and I will see you tonight, hopefully, for the live stream. And if you're not interested in that, I'll see you Monday morning for more Leeds news and what should be a very busy week for Leeds. See you then.